And how you doing, subscribers? How you doing, new viewers? I'm Ion Prime. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. And we're going to forego going over any of the news of the day because I want to close out this week because I've been calling this Deluxe Edition week because I've been showing off the different Deluxe Editions that I have in my collection. And wanted to end this week showing off my two favorite Deluxe Editions. And as I've made well known throughout my many videos, I'm such a fan of Final Fantasy VII. I love the remake trilogy they've been working on. I'm so ready for Final Fantasy VII Revelation coming out next year. But these two deluxe editions, I have a special place in my heart for Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But first of all, we're going to unbox and go through the Final Fantasy VII Remake Deluxe Edition. Now, this particular one I ordered directly from Square Enix. And let me comment, too, that on this box, I absolutely love it. And it's on the Rebirth box as well. Right here, I mean, this is raised lettering that is right here. And you can feel that as you rub across the top of the lettering there. And also the box just has this really almost cloth feel to it. But man, it feels great to rub your fingers across the box there. But Final Fantasy VII Remake came with some really cool goodies. Again, I ordered this directly from Square Enix. And of course, the first thing that you obviously get is the game itself. And everything is inside the steelbook, so that's why the discs are not here. But you got the download disc, and then you got the play disc as well, which is really cool. You got some paperwork in here as well. There was a download code for the Cactar Summon, and there was some other download stuff that you could do on the Final Fantasy or the Square Enix website. And this also has reversible cover art, which is really good because you get the Japanese cover on the other side of the Final Fantasy VII Remake on the game, it's very simple, but I like that. I like that a lot. But I do like the actual artwork here, because it just calls back to the original Final Fantasy VII game and that look at Shinra Tower from Midgar. Next that it was included in the Deluxe Edition is the soundtrack for Final Fantasy VII Remake. The music in Final Fantasy VII is just absolutely gorgeous. I love this soundtrack. Downloaded it when I got it, put it on my phone, and listened to it on road trips. I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful soundtrack to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Next up, you got a art book, which obviously shows off the characters in the game. You can also see some of the areas of the game. Let me get to those pages there. But yeah, just showing off the different characters that you run into throughout Final Fantasy VII Remake. Really cool stuff. Love it. Yeah, game was so good. The bosses, and of course some of the areas of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Of course, that game all taking place inside of Midgar. And then you also got a steelbook that came with this. And that's where I have the download disc and also the play disc. Now, you notice that I have a manual here. And I covered this a while back. I ran across a page on Etsy where they built manuals for various games. And that included the different Final Fantasy games. And so I picked up the manual for Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is actually for Intergrade on the PS5. I actually have that version on the PS5. But yeah, really cool to have a manual for the game. I believe this was like 10, 12 bucks. And it's a guy in the UK that makes them. And I sent it over. But I mean, the steelbook, absolutely gorgeous, showing off a Sephiroth there, and then just the basic logo there on the back. But a beautiful, beautiful steelbook. And another thing I was kind of surprised to get, which I didn't realize in the listing, is that it came with a lanyard and showing off Cloud and Barrett, and then Tifa and Aerith. And I actually use this every day on my keychain. This is what I have in my pocket, attached to my keys in my pocket. So yeah, really cool stuff there. That is the Deluxe Edition for Final Fantasy VII Remake. So now we're going to get into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now this one I ordered from Best Buy and picked it up locally whenever it came in. And what was neat about that is that it also included a Best Buy exclusive steelbook for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Obviously, as you can tell, I have not opened this, but featuring Sephiroth there and Aerith and Tifa. And then on this side, just the basic logo for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But this one came with its own steelbook as well. And came with a couple of extra goodies compared to Final Fantasy VII Remake. But of course, you get the soundtrack for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And once again, downloaded that, added it to my phone, and listened to that quite a bit whenever I'm commuting to work or on a road trip or wherever else. And then, so we'll get the rest of this stuff out of here. To the side there. And this one also art book for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So a lot of similar stuff in each one of these deluxe editions, but they're both great. And I just love flipping through this art book and seeing everything that they did to create Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. A great drawing there of Zack and the different bosses, and of course a lot of the different areas that are in the game. Yeah, but this is gorgeous. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth art book, part of that deluxe edition. And then, of course, once again, got the game. And this came with, of course, the download disc and also the play disc, just like the first one. And this one also has the reversible cover art. And again, just like the other one, featuring the Japanese cover art there, the very simple looking cover art there. And then the steelbook that came with this one's pretty gorgeous. I really, really, really love this steelbook featuring Zack and Cloud there going into Midgar, and then featuring the Buster Sword there on the back. Then open it up. Once again, I got the manual that I was talking about from the gentleman from Etsy. So I got the manual here for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and love having that in my collection. It's really cool that gentleman making those manuals for these modern games, since they really just don't come with manuals anymore. It's really cool. What are the Final Fantasy VII Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster? Got that for Switch. Got the manual for that, and also for Crisis Core. The remake of Crisis Core, they had a manual for that, so I got a manual for that one as well. But again, that is a look at my two favorite deluxe editions that I have in my collection as we're closing out Deluxe Edition week here on the channel. And, you know, if you have not had the chance to play either one of these RPGs, take the moment to do it, whether you're a Final Fantasy VII fan or not. A little trouble getting that back in there. But, I mean, they're really good. You can find them at really good prices right now because they've both been out for quite a while. And, of course, if you have a Nintendo Switch 2, both of those games are now officially available on the Switch 2 itself. So, yeah, I mean, there's all different kinds of ways that you can play these games and go through them and hopefully become a fan of the games just like I am. But, man, these just are just so great. I love these deluxe editions, and I'm hoping Final Fantasy VII Revelation. I know there's been Square Enix has made it clear that they're working to make a physical edition. They want a physical edition, and it just really all comes down to working with Sony to hopefully get that physical edition out there. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get another beautiful deluxe edition, just like we have with Remake and with Rebirth. So, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you for participating in a Deluxe Edition week, and I'll have some more ideas for some stuff to do all throughout the week. But we'll be back, or I'll be back on Monday with some more gaming news. So keep those controllers charged, my friends. Actually, have a good weekend. Let that battery run down a little bit playing some games this weekend. And I'll be back here on Monday with some more gaming news. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again on Monday.